Hey YouTubers, let's have us a Bible study. I have my love letter. We want to talk about horn. So let's go to Exodus. And we want 21. Exodus 21 and 28 and 29. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quiet. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and it had been testified to his owner, and he hath not kept him in, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. Let's go to Joshua. Okay, Joshua, way back there. And we want 6, 4, and 5. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horn. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the walls of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall send up every man straight before him. Let's go to 1 Samuel, and we want 2. 1 Samuel 2, and we want 1. And Hannah prayed, and said, My heart rejoiced in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I rejoice in my salvation. Let's go to 2, 9, and 10, the same book. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For my strength shall no man prevail. The adversary of the Lord shall be broken in pieces out of heaven, and shall be thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the end of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed. Let's go to 1 Samuel 16. And we want 1 and 2. And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go, and I will send thee to Jesse the Beth-Elimelite, for I have prevailed me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, Take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. Let's go on down to 13 now. And Samuel took the horn of oil, and anointed him in the midst of the brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. Let's go to 2 Samuel. And we want 22. 2 Samuel 22 and 3. The God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation. My high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou settest me from violence. It seems like the horn is starting to be right here in your skull. Ha ha ha. Let's go to 1 Kings. And we want 1. So now we got to make it back to 1. 1 and 39. 1 and 39. And Zachar the priest took a horn of oil out of the tabernacle and anointed Solomon. And they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, God save King Solomon. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 25. 1 Chronicles 25, and we want verse 5. All these were the sons of Heman, the king's seer in the word of God, to lift up the horn. And God gave to Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. Let's go to Job. And we want 16 in Job. And we want 15. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin, and defiled my horn in the dust. Let's go to Psalms. And we want 18. Psalms 18. And we want 2 and 3. The Lord is my rock and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. Let's go to 75, be Psalm 75, and we want 4 and 5. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up thy horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. So that is talking about your brain. This is what I'm getting out of it. So now we know what the horn is in Daniel. Let's go to 89. Psalms 89, and we want 17. For thou art the glory of the strength, and in thy favor our horn shall be exalted. Let's skip down to 24 in the same chapter. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted. Let's go to 92, and we want verse 10. But my horn shall thou exalt like the horn of the unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Let's go to 112. 112, and we want 9 and 10. He hath disappeared and hath given to the poor. His righteousness endureth forever. His horn shall be exalted with honor. The wicked shall see it and be grieved. He shall gash with his teeth, and melt away. The desire of the wicked shall perish. Let's go to 132. 132. And we want 17. There will I make the horn of David to bud. I have ordered a lamp for mine anointed. Let's go to 148. And we want 14. He also exalt the horn of his people, the praise of all saints, even of the children of Israel. A people near to him, praise ye the Lord. Let's go to Jeremiah. And we want 48. Jeremiah 48. And we want 25. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, saith the Lord. Let's go to Lamentations. And we want 2 and 3. He hath cut off his fierce anger, all the horns of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire. which devours round about. Let's skip down to verse 17. The Lord hath done that which he had devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down and hath not pitied. He hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries. Let's go to Ezekiel, and we want 29 and 2. Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh king of Egypt, and prophesy against him, and against all Egypt. Oh, wait a minute, that's 21. I'm sorry, let's go down to 21. In that day I will cause the horn of the house of Israel to bud forth, and I will give thee the opening of the mouth in the midst of them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Let's go to Daniel 7. Daniel 7, and we want 8 through 11. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the root. And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. I behold, till the thorns were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hairs of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. And the judgment was set, and the books were opened. I behold them because of the voice of the great word, which the horn spoke. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and gave into the burning flame. Okay, let's go down to 19 and down to 21. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the other, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and broke in pieces, and stamped the rescue of his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of another which come up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke very great things, whose look was more stout than all his fellow. I behold, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. We need to go on. Until the Ancients of Days came, and the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possess the kingdom. Let's go to 8, 5 through 9. And I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a noble horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram, and had 2 horns, which had seen standing before the river, and ran into him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and broke his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped on him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 noble ones towards the 4 winds of heaven, And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great, towards the south, and towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. Okay, let's skip on down to 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Let's go to Malachi. Okay. That's not Malachi. That's, be right back. It's Micah, and we want 4 and 3. 4. I'll get it right here in a minute. Malachi 4 and 13. Arise and thresh, O daughters of Zion, for I will make thy horn iron, and I will make the hoofs brass. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consider it their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Let's go to Zechariah. And we want 1 and 21. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spoke, saying, these are the horn which has scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But those are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horns over the land of Judah, to scatter it. Let's go to Luke. And we want 1. Luke 1 and 69. And hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of the servant David. Let's go on down to 70. And he spoke by the mouth of his holy prophet, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our Father, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which we swore to our father Abraham, that we would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hands of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in the holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. I looked at my concordance, and horn is 7161. It means a flask, cornet, an elephant's tooth, a corner, a peak, a ray, power, and heel. So now we know what a horn is. So when you read about the horns and all, then you know that it's about the power. And the brain, because the Bible has its own dictionary, and that's what it's pointing at. I love you, YouTubers. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Bye.